Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rabbi Eliezer Melamed, Shlita. We hope everyone had a meaningful and uplifting Yom HaAtzmaut. Happy birthday to the State of Israel, 76 years young. We continue to daven for Charlei Tzvagana Yisrael, Refuah Shlema L'chol Am Yisrael that need safe return of all of our hostages, and we dedicate our learning L'ili Nishmat Seren Daniel Shimon ben Harav Daron V'Shalei Hashem Yikum Damo. So we're moving on to a new-ish topic. It's in the same sefer of Ha'am V'Haaretz, but we're going to Perek Tes, and this chapter is entitled Zecher LeMikdash, or Zecher LeChurban is the first chapter. Be'ekvos Churban Beis HaMikdash Hasheni Hischola Mahapecha Nora. In the wake of the destruction of the second Beis HaMikdash, so something new arises. Domeh haya shel achar Churban Beis HaMikdash, v'chol ma she'ir be'ekvosav lo yeh efshar lahamshich lechayos b'ofen ragil. Meaning that life could not continue as it was, not in a normal fashion. From the period of the destruction of the second Beis HaMikdash, we cannot continue life in a regular manner. V'chein b'sibur b'talmud, the Gemara in Bava Basra and Daf Samach tells us, Keshacharav Beis HaMikdash Hasheni, nisraba perushim b'Yisrael, shelo achlu basar v'lo shasu yayin. From the time that the second Beis HaMikdash was destroyed, so people became more ascetic, and they didn't eat meat, they didn't drink wine. Nitpa lehem Rabbi Yeshua Amar Banai mipnei ma einatem ochlum basar einatem shosim yayin. So Rabbi Yehoshua says to them, "My children, why are you not eating meat? Why are you not drinking wine?" Amar lo, they said to him, Hech nochal basar shemimenu makrivim lagavi hamizbech v'achshav batel. How could we possibly eat meat when meat was normally brought on the mizbeach as an offering, and now it's null and void? We can't bring those offerings because the Beis HaMikdash is destroyed. How can we drink wine that was used for libations on the altar, and now we can no longer do it? So Rabbi Yeshua answered, so maybe you shouldn't eat bread either, because we had mincha offerings that had bread. He says, well, it's possible that maybe we could fulfill not eating bread by eating fruit. So if you're not going to eat bread and you're going to eat fruit, what about fruit? Fruit, how could you eat fruit when we don't have the first fruits offering? We don't have the bikurim any longer. Well, we could eat other fruits. Then you shouldn't have water either, Rabbi Yeshua says, because there's no more water libations. And once they understood Rabbi Yeshua's point that you cannot suffice without water, so then they were quiet. Amalehem Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Yeshua says, Banai, Bo'ov Amalachem, Shalol Hisabla Kol Ikar Efshar, Ulisabla Yosim Midai Efshar, Shein Gozing Zera Latzibur Elam Ken Rov Hatibri Cholom Lamabo. Very important principle when it comes to decrees, especially in the wake of the destruction of the second Beis HaMikdash. He says, we cannot overly mourn, and we also don't establish takanos, gezeros, any sort of enactments or decrees, if the majority of the population cannot abide by them. Life is required to continue. And we should not have a decree of such tremendous mourning on the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash, creating such a state of anxiety, of suffering, that people will not be able to survive it. He says, however, anytime somebody is at a particular simcha, we have to remember the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash. The idea is that as long as the Beis HaMikdash is in its destructive state, it's not rebuilt, our simcha, as great as it is, for us personally, it is not complete. This is the custom that a groom on the day of his wedding, he has to think of Yerushalayim. We say al rosh simchasi, on the top of my simcha, and that's why they have the custom of putting ashes on his head. A person is building a home. We have to leave a certain area, one amma square, that is unfinished. Again, Zecher LeChurban. When we have a simcha and we have a meal at the simcha, so perhaps one dish, one of the offerings will be slightly less than normal, again, to commemorate the Churban, and the same thing comes when it comes to the jewelry of women. We'll see more of this as we go on. The rest of the world are in complete amazement and wonderment at our lasting power. So, nispazer b'arba kanfos tevel, there is no other nation in the world that is exiled from their land of heritage, spread all over the world, and still they keep and adhere and cling to their nationality. And furthermore, not only do they maintain their identity as Jews, but they also have found the strength, as we have seen in our time, to come back to our land, to inherit it, to build it, and to see the land of Israel flourishing as we have today. There's no doubt that it's the godly Torah, the eternal Torah of Hashem. That's what allows us and helps the Jewish people to safeguard their identity. And these takanos, these enactments that we call Zecher LeChurban, in the various forms that they take, are a constant reminder that living in the diaspora is not lechatchila, that's not optimal. Our natural place to be is in the land of Israel. Gam kayom, shezachina b'chazi Hashem lekibutz galus lebinyan haaretz, and he says today, where we have merited the kindness of Hashem to have the ingathering of the exiles and to build the land of Israel. So you might think, well, we're in Israel, we don't have to keep them, but he says, no, we definitely have to keep these enactments Zecher LeMikdash. And continuing this symbolic mourning over the Beis HaMikdash, it will arouse in our hearts a great desire that we should have the revelation of the Shekhinah in the land of Israel. And then we will merit the building of the Beis HaMikdash. So, extremely important idea that we're always thinking of Eretz Yisrael. If you think about it, how many times in davening, in all of our ritual events, and we talk about Israel, we talk about Yerushalayim, that's why it belongs here in this portion of the book, as we've been talking about modern-day Israel and modern-day Halacha, but still we have to understand what it is that got us there to begin with. So thank you so much for joining us, and we continue to daven for Chalei Tzvaganai Yisrael, for Shalom Chlam Yisrael, safe return of our hostages, and please dedicate your learning Leili Nishmat Seren Daniel Shemin Harav Doron V'Sheli Hashem Yikam Damo. Have a great day.